Good morning, everybody. It's Marty the JavaScript Party. Rhett's in the living room because I still have my son's crazy dogs here. They're actually wonderful, but they uh, they make things a little more complicated. It's just two more very athletic, very energetic creatures running around. Makes it a little like birds are pretty fragile, so I don't really want to risk her more than what is not dumb, right? I think it's kind of dumb to risk a creature. Like you can't live in a bubble, but you also don't want to just do crazy things. Also, so so it doesn't seem like a smart thing to do. Let me close this one down. So one of the things I have been trying to sort of slow walk, try to figure out, try to be introspective and understand is how I context switch. Context switching, I think, is probably one of the probably the most important soft skill for being a software developer today. Um, the it definitely is like I think that like if I'm looking down the road, um, the probably the biggest I feel like the thing that younger people are really starting to get a grip on that I don't just have a lot of experience with um, is like I noticed that my son, who's an accounting major at KSU, he um, Kennesaw State University in Kennesaw, Georgia. He like the thing that a lot of the young people really focus on is like, okay, how do they make their writings not appear to be from AI, right? So like they'll write something, however they write it, they go from point A to point B where they have, let's say, 1,000 words written on in a file, and then they what they have to do is they have to run it through an analyzer, and then the analyzer will tell them, oh, okay, this is X% AI, and so then they have to tweak it until they can get below a certain threshold, and then it's okay to turn in to the teacher. On the other hand, I'm reading about it. I don't have any personal, like, I don't know anyone that has this issue, but I've been reading that some places are requiring that developers achieve a certain amount of AI in their code. So they're doing a scan, and if it only has 50% AI on it, then they're not getting a bonus. But if it has 75% AI on it, then they do get a bonus. So they are actually doing the other way around. They're writing code and then they're going and they're running the scan, and then they're like trying to find some function that is just that AI just commonly gives that's similar to that does the same thing that their function, and then they paste it in and see what score they get. And then so these people are developing a skill of understanding when something can be recognized as AI and not recognized as AI that I'm not getting. So that, and then when people have a skill that other people don't have, they will try to sort of change the world a little bit so that their skill is valuable, right? Like there is some gamesmanship in that. And so that is the situation we're in with a lot of these things. But the one skill that I need to work on is context changing, and I'm pretty good at it. But um, I kind of developed it sort of under the covers, not really like just kind of what do they call it? Organically, as things slowly turned, I slowly adapted and all that. But the thing is now today people are just context switching all day long. Um, yesterday I had a situation where I'm in a meeting, I'm just blah 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 blah. They sort of said, "Hey, would you?" This wasn't the first time we talked about it, but it was just like, you want to be like a lead this kind of thing up, and I was like, sure, I want to lead it up. Okay, so do you have anything to say to the team? You know, and it's just like, yeah, you have to be able to like on a dime, like the thought of even being in a leadership role and then speaking to the team was, just like something I hadn't even like contemplated before that meeting. And it was just like, yeah, you just got to roll with it. Just roll with it. So the first thing I definitely knew I wanted to do was say something funny. So the first thing I did was I said, okay, everybody, I just want you all to know that as leading this group, this effort, I expect you all to work tomorrow on Saturday. It cracked everybody up. Because we're state employees. It's going to take a lot to get us to work on Saturday. I mean, we will. We absolutely will, because everyone I know that I work with cares about the state generally, and that is a huge reason why we like this job is because we like our state and we want our state to succeed. But the idea that the very first day I get put in charge of anything, I'm trying to make everybody work on Saturday is hilarious. Anyway, so let's context switch. Okay, so I'm pretty sure just from the last few weeks that we are working on say hello, and so I want to validate that in my mind. Well, first of all, I guess I want to make sure that the local host is not, in fact, doing anything, that it's dead. Yeah, so it is dead. It's still rolling. It's kind of fun because it left it at entities. And so I know that there's two projects. So those are clues. We've got two projects, and one project is called Flashcard, and the other one is called Say Hello. And I typically work on Say Hello on Saturdays, but I want to double check that. And the way I can double check that is I can see that in my history, I worked Space of Time. That's the one I work on every day. Media System 2006 Attempt 2. So I'm already to Attempt 2, which I work on every evening. Flashcard. So that was the last one I worked on. That must have been last Sunday. And Say Hello. All right, so let's go to Say Hello. And I don't remember what we're doing. I think what we're trying to do is we're trying to get this so that we can deploy it. I think we have I think we set up the routing and now we want to deploy it. Um, so it's a little bit vague to me, but let's see. We'll hit this and see if there's any clues. Next step. Oh, I like it. I remember this now. Am I rating a get I like email working? Okay, so that is funny because I was like, wait, I don't send emails from this. Now, I like emails, our website. And so if we let's go there, www.ilikeemail.com. And I will say that if you have problems, if you guys use Team or you have some other problem where your your microphone isn't necessarily reliable. So we have an issue all the time. It happens to all of us, and it's very like it really messes with your confidence in that you unmute on Teams and you start talking and no one can hear you. And then so what it does is it like kind of destroys your confidence because you're kind of like, can you guys hear me? Because you go on this this 30-second and then this, and then this, and then that, and then this, and then this, and then finally, whoever's running the meeting will be like, Marty, um, you can go. And it's like, well, shit, I've been talking for like 15 seconds. And then you unmute, mute, unmute, mute. It never works. But if you go to this voice thing, for some reason, and then you go over here and you say, good morning, everybody, and it doesn't work, then it's like that, which was weird. And it makes me, yeah, okay, so I see a little things going on. Oh, look, reset permissions. So apparently at some point, maybe just now, did I just do that? Okay, let's do this again. Oh, it says it said I needed to reload, but apparently I did it. Good morning. Well, okay, so yeah, so that now it worked. I had two results, a good morning 95%. So good morning all week has only been giving me one result. Oh, but yeah, it heard the last well. Anyways, so that's what I like to do. But anyways, so I think we must have something called like say hello. So let's see. Yep, there we go. And that says say hello coming soon. Now over here, I'm going to go CD and into my not I like email, but say hello UI directory folder, and then npm start. and we'll see what we get. I believe it pushes us to EN US. So what we really want is to come over here and see EN-US, but it doesn't. And that's kind of a bummer. And we're still waiting for this one to generate. And even after we push the code, this is still not going to work because basically at DreamHost, this is, and I don't, my confidence level on what I'm about to say is not super high, but at DreamHost, they use Apache, I believe. And Apache, what it does, the default behavior of Apache is when it sees a URL like this, it has this mapped to a certain directory on a certain server on their side. And then inside of there, it's looking for a folder called Say Hello. And inside of Say Hello, it's looking for another folder called EN. And inside of that, another folder called US. But we don't want that. What we want is when someone goes to EN-US, that the browser, that the server serves up the code from Say Hello in here, which is a little bit different because most of Angular applications, I believe, will go straight to the root instead of one up. So they'll try to serve what's at index. If for a typical Angular application, so what we want is for it to go find the index in here and feed it this, and then that index has JavaScript code, and that JavaScript code knows how to read the URL, and then it knows what to do. All right, so if we come over here, I don't know if it ever came up, but it didn't come. Okay, so this is weird. So this is not doing what I thought it was doing. What if we delete this? Okay, so that's interesting. So when I was over here, okay, so this is, yeah, not what we want to do. So let's just do this. Next step. Make rect2 and I will say that it is not, it's weird, right? Like this didn't bother me at all. Like there was no frustration, no annoyance, no nothing. But basically this is what I wanted to do, and then once I started working, I realized, oh crap. Because of my last project I was working on, I found out that my routing isn't working the way I thought it was working. I thought everything would get pushed to there if it didn't recognize it, but it doesn't. Now I could get annoyed. There's definitely I'm 57. I was born in 1968, so yeah, I'm closing. Oh yeah, so next month at this time I'll be 58 years old, and I would say for at least 50 of it, that would have pissed me off. And now it doesn't bother me at all. I actually feel grateful that I found this. I don't know. It's just a different way of looking at things. Anyway, so now let's go look at, so our routing Cypress did not help, right? So what we want is visit, right? And we want, instead of, I guess we want to use these little backticks. And I guess what we're doing is actually test-driven development at the moment. Never been a big fan of test-driven development, but um, it's kind of like one of those things where like if when it happens, it like it's like this was really good, right? Like I'm looking at this and I'm like, oh, I need to. Oh my gosh. Hey, Melissa. It sounds like Roxy's out there barking. Um, when it happens, it's really neat, but it doesn't. I don't think you can force it. I think what we're experiencing right here is just really cool. So this one should fail now. And I guess we want to test that. Run Cypress open npm. Oh, I need to go into my Cypress project. And I will say that in my last one, I want to see how I don't have the little reds and all that. It's because this is its own. So like here, I would know that not is not a legal thing. Um, so holy crap, I've never seen anything like that. 241 overloads. Holy cow. Chainable link with 241 overloads. That's neat. Um, anyway, CD, Cypress, npm start. So that is so that I can get this. If you watched my last video you saw that this doesn't work for me. Like in that one, and that's because I um, run Cypress open. Okay. So this is kind of cool because this will be like, okay, get this thing to pass. Also, if this is just some weirdness, um, we'll find out because of that. But if I'm being completely honest, I'm actually very relieved that we hit. This is going to be so much easier to fix at this point in time than it would be like, well, it is likely the unintended consequences of trying to fix something like this after it's baked in, and then when you fix it, and then the things that you like couldn't have thought of in a million years that are now broken is just like very, very annoying. Okay, so Cypress configure, and like with voice, like I use voice every day. My voice application it took a year to build, and now I use it every day. I don't even consider breaking into it. Like once it's done usually. It really is. Like people think, no, people think, oh, we're gonna have constant maintenance. It's like, no, once it's done, it's done. Now the problem is I think where the disconnect happens a lot of times is um, you end up with um, you end up with uh, like I think when a CEO hires like 5 developers and they bring them in to be to to build something, right? They think, okay, once it's done, and that's cool. I'll be able to get rid of these 5 developers. But 9 times out of 10, it's just like once they're done, there's like 5 other things you'd want to get done, and then once you get those 5 other things done, now you have 25 other things. Like that's sort of the nature of software development. This is the one really bad thing about one of my son's dogs is it barks incessantly. And our neighbor actually sent us like a text yesterday going, and we had just gone out, and I guess she was outside just barking her head off. We had just gone outside, and then we gotten to a restaurant, and he's like, one of your dogs is just barking nonstop. It would be really nice to have a break from that. And then, but I don't check my phone very often, so I didn't even see it until like 10 o'clock that night. And it was just like, oh, I'm so sorry. But by 10, the dogs were in and all that. So, yeah, so it didn't work, which is what we're hoping. So I'm going to see if there's an obvious quick fix for it. If it's not, I'll probably just let that go till next week. Okay, so this fallback route you would have thought, okay, so I guess we'll just chat GPT. So I have these routes. Guess I should tell it the version of Angular. Okay, I have these routes. Oh my gosh, that damn dog is outside now, barking. And it's kind of like one of those things like she could have got away with a lot of barking, but now she's sort of annoyed people and they're listening for her to mess up. And she's out there messing up. I have to um but hey honey, do I do I need to go take care of her? Reason this URL is not redirecting. Uh okay, so path. Oh, apparently I need to tweak this one right here to this. Just need to add this comma full. Now it's very, very, very possible that like, especially if I was working with somebody else, but even by myself, that I would be like, oh, let me go over here before I hit save. Okay. I would be like, oh, okay, so let me just go over here, blah, 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 and then find out that, oh, now I've built out, like, if I run into this problem, like, let's say I want to build a help page or something like that, and all of that, um, I won't be able to get there, so then I'll have to create a specific route and all that. But, like, it wouldn't surprise me if I was like, oh, look, I could get here, and I never even thought about the fact that I need to tweak it. Right. What I'm hoping, and, okay, so it still didn't work. Okay, so let's look back at this and see, did I miss anything? So I definitely have the two fallback. Part is fine. Okay. Oh, darn it. That was funny. Okay, so yeah. So the problem is that this actually is an appropriate URL. Oh my God, that's hilarious. And the reason is because now the region, the language is data and the region is entities. So really what I would want to happen in this specific situation is that data that I would be like, hey, okay, so do you want to try this out? And you'd have like a little form and you could give it the language of data and the language of entities and it could give it a try. And I think that's fine. I think that's okay. It's just like, I don't know what happens. It'll be very interesting to see what happens when you try to give it when you try to give um, the when you try to give the recognition API data and entities. I mean, when you try to give it something that doesn't exist, And so this actually, okay, so the big win on this is um, we're going to comment both of these out because at some point this is actually going to matter, I think. It actually 100%, I know it's going to matter. So, okay, so this is technically legal. So this is not true. Um, I do not know what we want to do with this. Not sure. Want to do with regions, languages, invalid, language, region, combinations. Now, I know, I would imagine that some crazy over, most places, most environments, they come with some crazy over complex scheme, but for now, we're not. I mean, to do that, but I don't really know exactly what I want to do when we did this. But this is actually, I'm glad we dealt with this. So now let's go back here to the README, get rid of this one. And we're back. Back, baby. All right. So basically, right now, the next step, I think, is to build the application for I Like Email. And if I remember correctly, we actually did, in fact, create a build. Okay, let's go over here, say hello. We did create a build. Those others. Okay, so we want to build I Like Email, and that should give us a configuration for I Like Email. So let's do that. I can't wait to actually, I'm very curious to see what's going to happen when we push the FTP this out here. So we're going to cd dot dot cd say hello UI npm run build I Like Email. And I will say that like this was really, really hard to do after. Like, so when for voice, once I started trying to get these things working, like I honestly thought it was going to be like a 1 hour video where I get maybe 1 hour for I Like Email, 1 hour um, for um, 1 hour for I Like Email, and then 1 hour for GitHub. But it ended up taking like 6 weeks of hour and a half videos to get all that working. And it was just because there was all these complications, and I pretty much had to hack together fixes because I had built out all kinds of stuff that were like FTP. I believe I used FileZilla. Gosh, it's just crazy how inconsistent um, all these things are anymore. Like how from day to day, how these OSs and stuff work differently. I'm pretty sure my next one, I heard HP is selling like, there we go, uh, selling like native Linux machines that are like Linux from the get-go. I don't want to install a new one yet. Um, and I feel like I really want one of those next because like that was always the hard thing about um, trying to deal with having Linux is that like it never you could just tell it was never really built for that. So you're always having to make accommodations. So having something that actually works would be nice. Okay, so I have an I like email FTP. Now I change my FTP passwords all the time for various reasons. Usually nothing like not like an anti-hacking kind of thing, but like just like a lot of times I'll just try to FTP things from other websites and stuff. I mean, from other machines. So I have to tweak. I have to change the passwords because I don't remember the passwords. I have it generate passwords for me. So I'm trying to do this, and unfortunately, I don't think there's any good way to show you guys stuff that doesn't sort of leak things that I don't. I guess maybe. Guess I could do that. See, kind of see how that works. Um, but so I have on my right, I have what is on the on the server, and on the left, I have what's on my computer. And so I have a folder called Say Hello, and there is a series of files in there. And since this is not like technically like a good application. I mean, since this isn't technically like a valid URL that I'm supporting, I'm just going to delete everything from there. And then I want to come over here. And I want to hit back. Okay. And then I want to hit reload. Okay, so as you see, I have no files out there. And so now on my left over here, I want to find tech. Let's see, where are you? Ooh, where are you? Where are you? Okay, this is in, what folder is this in? This gets so complicated. So text, say hello UI. So over here on the left, I see tech, and then say hello, and say hello UI. And then I will have a dist folder. And so I'm clicking on the dist folder, and then I have a folder called Say Hello UI. And I have that, and then I have like a third-party licenses text and a pre-rendered routes JSON, which I think I just ignore those. I don't know. I want to acknowledge their existence, but I want to, and then I'm going to do an upload. And then I want to hit refresh. Okay, so still not found over here. Oop, I don't know what is going on. So we want to delete this right here. Yeah, so we have, oh, this is just bizarre because it keeps, oh, that is so great. Okay, so it's redirecting to that. I'm actually, the precise things that happen, but if I hit enter, it's not found. But if I go here, hey, Rard. And then, so we have this, and so basically what's happening is that, and I think what we have to do is we need to upload the htaccess. And then here we go. All right. So then here we go. And then hit save, and then okay. And then let's go over here. And then anyways, so it sounds like there's some fun going on out in the living room, so I'm gonna go deal with that. But let me up next step. Code uploaded. Uh, need new I like email. htaccess. htaccess. All right. Well, Everybody have a wonderful day. Have a enjoy happy coding. Bye.